Whatever it is not right on a teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. I can't read it. There's no words on it. I can't do it. We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
You look frazzled, bro.
I think it's like really early there.
The same time here.
Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, but you just went to your basement, Michael. You just had to go to your basement.
All right. Can people hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect.
Loud and clear. I feel like you're in a fallout bunker. Is there like a nuclear war there?
What was that last part?
It kills the joke, dude. It kills the joke like that.
I'm sorry.
I feel like you're in a fallout bunker. Is there a nuclear war there?
No, but a lot of these old buildings do have fallout shelters. Actually, my old fraternity house had a fallout shelter in it, but no, there's no fallout shelter here. This is actually the old dark room, what used to be the dark room for photographers. They would come in.
Oh, wow.
And
there's develop the film,
but then also,
do you know how to do that?
No, I don't.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lost trade, and honestly,
I had a friend in high
Should we
school
get
who
started?
we are started. I had
Yeah.
a friend in high school who took photos and had a darkroom at his house.
I mean, like, honestly, photography, I mean, it's a lot more fun now that, like, you know, we don't have to mess with all of that old analog technology. I much prefer the digital side of things. But I will say mirror cameras. I'm a bigger fan of mirror cameras than I am of just straight digital cameras. I was using a digital camera last night for a basketball game, and it just wasn't
mirrorless.
Yeah, mirrorless. Yeah, and
Very different than mirror.
No, it is. It's like a change. It's like a sea change in digital cameras right now, from like single lens reflex mirror cameras to mirrorless cameras. It's like a big thing.
Well, the Columbus this
Oh, that's good.
one point, one of the oldest family-owned newspapers in the country. They ditched all of their Canons and now they're straight Sony. So, which is kind of interesting. I mean, Gannett Media has a lot of interesting business plans, and I guess that one was what people really jived with. So,
well, I think like all of the big camera manufacturers are going mirrorless. Like all the big Canon cameras that are made now are mirrorless, and all the big Nikon cameras are mirrorless. It's unclear to me. I mean, I only stay like sort of abreast of all of this stuff, like for the YouTube channel or whatever. But it's unclear to me, just kind of as an outsider, if like any mirrored cameras will be developed from now on, like of consequence.
I don't know. I mean, my Nikon is mirrored, but it can also be a mirrorless camera if you.
It's also like old at this point.
Well, I mean,
I'm like boring.
I mean that D800, right? That was like.
Well, that's from 2017. It's the D850.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 years.
We have a bunch of D4Hs and like that kind of thing here at the office, but I don't use those. I actually just got a bunch of upgraded equipment that I'm excited to get here soon. But welcome to the podcast, everyone. This is our cold open, just talking about cameras, shooting the breeze. It's been a while. Sorry for not being around, but wanted to kind of get an update on where everyone stands. And I know that we had some goals, and I think that those goals have exceeded their expiration date, but I wanted to kind of get back to where we were in terms of our goals and where we are in life. So Grace, let's start with you. You just went back to school. You're now at your apartment. So kind of tell us what's been going on.
So I'm back at school. Classes started last week, but they were in person for the first week. So this is our first week of in-person classes. which is really nice. It's nice to be back in like the classroom. Um, and it's really nice to see some of these lectures that I've had before and lectures that I haven't. One in particular I had first year, and I really enjoyed his just energy that he brings to like the topics. And the module is actually called the Intro to the Philosophy of Science, which I find very intriguing. And so today we were discussing inductivism and like a part of like the scientific method, and is, like the pitfalls, what fallacies does it bring up through it, and like can it really produce universal knowledge and laws when you have to leap from inference to whatever knowledge you think you're going to land at. So it was very meta, very, very meta, but I participated, and I sort of was just like, I don't like this. I don't like this way of like trying to come about attaining knowledge, because you start off with an observation as a particular, and I disagreed with that. I thought observations are general. And then I said, I was like, if I were to make the observation that this room is lighter than it is dark, he was like, but isn't that a particular observation? And I was like, well, I guess so, but it's not like the light in here is however many, I don't know, spectacles of whatever atoms, I feel like that's more particular. I feel like saying lighter than darker is a general thing, and that can vary between people's eyes and all that stuff. So I just don't agree with the whole observation starting off as particular. So that was really fun. I don't have any classes the rest of the day, which is lovely, lovely. And this morning I actually came back from Dublin. So last night I took the bus to Dublin to go see our mom, Alec, and your sister, Michael, to go to an opening of a play written and starred in by Gabriel Burns. And it was really good. There was like an after party. It was nice. Me and mom sort of did this kind of thing pretty regularly when I was at home. So it was kind of interesting to do it abroad in a new country. And also basically for the first time since COVID happened. Yeah, spent the night with her, took like a 7:30 a.m. bus here to get back for an 11 a.m. class. And yeah, hanging out with my friends, enjoyed my time at home. And now I'm enjoying my time here with my friends at school. So yeah, that's me.
Michael, I understand that things were kind of pushed back for school on your end, but
that's right.
Kind of facet. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for the like COVID Omicron surge, we put our class starting date off for 2 weeks, but we started on Monday. So, I mean, we're in the swing of things now. I teach Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I have today not teaching. But the first 2 days were good. Yeah. So I'm teaching a class, Introduction to Mathematical Proofwriting, which I think is a really awesome class, kind of for everyone. I think it's like I made this big pitch at the beginning of the class that I think that everyone should take a class like this just because of its ability to teach logical reasoning, and like logical reasoning in a setting that is like free from any sort of like sort of like politicized or emotional thoughts that anyone has. Right. So like, just talking about sets or whatever. Anyway, but that's kind of neither here nor there. Last week, I did a YouTube collaboration with a guy from Oxford University. I think he knows you, Grace, because I think everyone over there knows each other, right? JK.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he knows me on a first name basis or on any.
It was
basis.
this guy Tom Crawford. So I think our video is going to come out later in February sometime. I have my first brand deal for my YouTube channel. It's with this company called Data Camp, who does data science stuff. I have to upload that video at some point. Anyway, that's the sequence of events. I hired some interns.
Oh, you got on that.
Yeah, I hired some interns. They're like making a trailer to talk about what they're going to do. They're going to make like sort of freeform content, building out like coming up with problems for me to solve and like have some sort of storyline or whatever. And then we're going to hopefully use it as some sort of value add to push people to the Patreon. I feel like a business person.
It's very business-esque.
So we'll see how that goes. Like the launch video is on February 15. I need to figure out how to legally pay them. I think that they need to fill out tax forms or something. I got to figure that out. I'm paying them $15 an hour. That seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's minimum wage.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I
well,
was
it's
in
not.
intern,
It's not minimum wage. It's like $9 is minimum wage here, $8 or something.
Yeah, so you're good. I think that's very kind.
Well, I mean, to put it in perspective, I mean, when I was an intern working in Seattle, they required that all internships get paid minimum wage, and out there it's $15 an hour. But they also limited us to only 20 hours a week. Like that was the state law. We couldn't work because then we're a full-time employee at that point. We're not a intern per se, but
yeah.
But
so you think that's reasonable for like a school job, right?
Oh yeah. I
mean,
I
the
find
school pays $7 an hour.
Yeah, no.
They have some sort of like lower than minimum wage exemption. So I feel
that's very it's kind of like what prisons do. I'm not gonna talk crap about Randolph because obviously I've never been to that school and I don't know what goes on there, but it's kind of like before COVID, we would hire the company that I work for, rather, we would hire some of the members out in the prison here in Marysville, and they would come in and they would do inserts for us. I don't know how much they would get paid, so I can't really speak on that, but I know that they did get paid for that. And if we know anything about prison profiteering, they probably don't get paid a whole lot.
Yeah, it's dodgy. What are inserts?
So basically, when you get a newspaper, right? You ever see those coupons? You just get a whole bunch of coupons.
Yeah.
So those are inserts, right? Like
okay,
we do partnerships, brand, or some hunting company, or anything.
So they just put
like
the inserts in the paper.
Yeah, exactly. But instead this year we had to do it. So I was taken off my desk and I actually had to work in the back. I actually find it to be very, while I don't look forward to doing like physical labor in my like later years and stuff like that. Obviously I love writing. There is something really soothing about just getting bundles together, putting inserts together, putting it out to the post office, and then just,
Yeah.
I would have to do that at mom's office. Like I worked at the union for like 4 or 5 years from the time I was like 13 till I graduated. And
so child labor.
Basically, except I was paid.
So you're telling me the union used child labor?
No. I was a paid employee. It was also just like I would be there at work with mom and I need something to do so that I'm not bothering her, So it started off with shredding papers, and then, I'd do like the mailing for invoices for people who have like late dues and stuff. And so I'd have to like take the white piece of paper and then the pink piece of paper and put the pink piece of paper on top of the white piece of paper, fold it, and then put it into the thing and just do that repeatedly. And I'd also have to do that when I'd have to shred stuff. It was just taking a stapler remover and just for like 30 minutes straight, just removing staples. And I found it actually very like therapeutic, although, I wasn't working like 12 hours a day. And again, I was paid. So that aside,
I mean, this is like
repetition.
all that kind of like this is a very privileged point to take, but that sort of busy work type stuff is kind of nice and low doses.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There's a correct dose, and that dose is like much, much, much lower than full-time work.
Yeah.
But to I don't want to make this about me, but I guess it's my turn to kind of give a little update. So yeah, I mean, since we've been doing our separate things here, things have been going good. I got most of my stuff in my new apartment or in storage right now. So I just scheduled my installation of my power, my electricity for this Friday. So things are exciting. I have until the 13th of February this month to get all of my stuff from my old apartment to my new apartment. All I need to bring are like my TV stand, bed, and a couch. And then other than that, I will be
Don't take that couch to the new place, Alec. Get a new couch.
well, the couch that you're thinking of, the couch that you refuse to sleep on, the couch that you adamantly refuse to sleep on, I am not taking that one. That one's going to the dumpster. But the blue one, the blue one I will be taking because I'd rather not have to hunt for another couch. So
and what about your roommate? What about Francis?
Oh, he's been gone for a while. He does have to pick up a few things, and he is coming this weekend to kind of wrap things up and help me clean up and stuff, as a good roommate should. The only other good roommate that I have, the other one, I actually just found out that the other one who stole all my stuff. This is a lesson about karma, people. Don't do wrong to others because something bad will come to you. I just heard that he's now selling all of my belongings that he took because he can't pay rent now. And I found that out through a mutual friend that Francis knows who's connected to Jermaine still. And apparently he is lying low.
Cool.
I mean,
Are you talking, Grace? We can't hear you.
No, pause. Be careful with names.
Yeah, but you're also kind of like quiet.
Yeah.
Alec is?
No, you are.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't trying to be loud.
No. Like,
but now you are. Like
your volume seems
Hello?
low.
Hello?
Seems really low.
Well,
Did you mess with a dial on the side of your mic?
Yeah, it was like okay for a
No.
while. Anyway, it doesn't matter, or maybe it does.
I think it probably does.
You tell me. So do you? So is your apartment by yourself?
Yes, I will be living by myself and with Leo. That's
Leo's a dog.
Yeah, Leo is a dog. So I guess I won't be living by myself entirely. But yes, the dog will be with me, but other than that, it'll just be me and my thoughts. and it'll be good this year because I'm planning on doing changing up my lifestyle a little bit, going back to what I used to do before college, also adopting new habits and stuff like that. So, it's going to be interesting.
You ever lived by yourself?
Have I always wanted to live by myself?
No, have you ever lived by yourself?
Oh, yes. I lived by myself for a brief moment in time, but it was like my 5th year in college, and it really wasn't anything that I was too I don't know, gung-ho with. I guess I lived off campus, but I spent most of my days on campus and doing schoolwork or hanging out with friends or partying, the typical stuff, especially getting my last few days of partying out my 5th year. But yeah, so I have lived by myself. I am looking forward to that. One of the things that I wanted to bring up too is this month is kind of unique. The first calendar day of the Lunar New Year was February 1st. Not only that, this is Black History Month. And not only that, this is also the week of Tom Brady's retirement. I know we have 2 lovely people who love sports, especially football. But I just wanted to bring that up because wow.
Okay, so who is Tom Brady? No, real question.
Okay, Tom Brady.
Thomas Brady. Thomas Bradford.
Tom Edward Patrick Brady, I believe is his full name. He was drafted. Well, let me just put it this way.
He's a footballer.
He is an American football player, but an American football icon, I would say. He played for 22 seasons.
He's like old AF, right?
Yeah, he's 44 years old. He played in 10 Super Bowls, won 7 of those Super Bowls. One of those championships was with a different team. He is one of only 2 quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl for 2 different organizations. The first one was Peyton Manning. I don't know. There have been many other quarterbacks that have started for 2 different organizations in the Super Bowl. But he just means so much to me. Even though I was never a fan of his or his teams per se. I think, and I don't want to talk about football when I talk about Tom Brady's legacy. I think from what I've been listening to and from what I've been reading and from what I've learned about Tom Brady since he moved from New England to Tampa Bay, Florida, is that he is one of the biggest competitors I think this world has ever known. I think people from across the pond, from all over the world, would appreciate his level of competitiveness. And I think that his success story speaks a lot about what it means to be counted out. I mean, he was drafted number 199 overall. So there were 198 other players drafted before him, 6 quarterbacks drafted before him, none of which have won a Super Bowl, or if they did, they weren't starting. And like all of those quarterbacks were touted to be the biggest talents to come into the league that year. Never came to fruition. I don't think any of those quarterbacks ever saw 2013 in terms of playing days. But it's just interesting. I felt the same way when I watched Michael Jordan's Last Dance documentary. There is a level of superhuman to Tom Brady that I think we can all channel. I think there's this eagerness to prove people wrong that he has that I can relate to. In a sense, actually executing it is something that he has perfected. I wanted to bring this up because I was kind of interested in what you guys had to say in terms of, has there ever been someone that you've watched in your early days or up until now that has been so influential in your life that all of a sudden they had to make a complete pivot to whatever they had to do? And how did that shape, or how did that make you feel? I guess, I don't know. In football, this happens every time, but for Tom Brady, I don't know. I can't remember a season where Tom Brady wasn't playing. And so this is I put this out on Twitter after Ben Roethlisberger and then Tom Brady retired. My childhood is almost dead. Aaron Rodgers, once he retires, my childhood for the game of football will be gone. So I'm just wondering, is there any kind of person that you can relate to on that kind of a scale?
Grace?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you want to address Alex?
Question?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody so influential? Is that what that's where the line? Okay. What? Sorry, my flatmate just got home. I had to say hello. Can you guys hear me? You guys look very confused.
Yes.
They're looking at me.
Yeah. We're just, you're blowing
Okay.
it. So we're
You're blowing
giving you the wide eyed because you're just floundering over there.
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry. I don't think in the way, Alec, that you're thinking of, but if I were to talk about a sportsman or sportswoman that I see sports,
but yeah.
I know. I'm trying to answer the question because I don't have that. I don't have an answer for myself for that.
Right.
So I would have to say, in terms of endurance and competitiveness and drive for the win, I would have to say Naomi Osaka for that one. Just watching her documentary on Netflix made me notice that more and respect her more. I also worked at a tennis camp, so there's always conversations about, who's, the up and coming, who's like the star right now. And I think she was really young when she won her first US Open and stuff. And
Mhm.
she has been playing since she's one of those like child athletes that like parents not necessarily drilled it into her, but very much so fostered that athlete.
Mhm.
And so part of what she struggles with now is like having this platform and being so recognized while also not wanting to be, but wanting to be the best player she can be, which I think is a different take on Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a great celebrity in that way. He's a great like figurehead, a great like just Tom Brady's Tom Brady, icon, right? And Naomi Osaka is equally as much of an icon in her own sport, I think, but she doesn't. And I say this with no disrespect because I think it's something that like people like, and especially in athletics, should see more, because your job is to, or not really what your job is to be, but like you're there to be the most. I'm sorry. Do you hear that? No, you don't. Okay, word. My sink makes noises. It like gurgles unexpectedly.
This is great for the podcast. Is that your sink right there? Your sink is in your room. We can't hear anything.
Yeah, I mean, we heard it for a little bit, but then I think it stopped. Or, yeah.
So yeah. Oh my God,
but you brought up a good point though, and I was actually kind of taken aback when and this is going to be the sportsman in me kind of coming out a little bit, but like, Naomi, she's raw talent, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think Tom Brady really ever was touted for having raw talent. I think he always had to work for what he had. Not to talk crap about Naomi, because I think she's phenomenal in her own right, but I would compare Serena Williams to Tom Brady more, just because of the resume that follows that name, like but yeah, no.
But I almost think that raw talent is what sets her apart so much more, because she has this innate drive and athleticness that is just something that she like works for it, and she works really hard to keep that up to the top,
Yeah. So, Michael, is there anyone for you that you've ever had a similar feeling towards, or like a similar admiration towards? I want to move from this topic as soon as possible.
Not really.
I just felt like we had to talk about it. Yeah. So not really.
I've never been a big person to like look to others for motivation or look to others.
Just look up to yourself.
That's something Tom Brady would say.
Yeah.
That is
well, he's my best friend. Maybe that's why, because my best friend is like so famous. Tom Brady, my best friend. That since he's my best friend, I couldn't think about looking up to people like my best friend. No, but I don't know what it is. Like, it's just never been. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like another thing that I wanted to kind of poke fun at is this is Black History Month, and of course the first week of on the first day of February, Tom Brady makes it about himself and decides to announce his retirement, begrudgingly rather. There's a whole like there's like beef right now with the media and Tom Brady, because apparently the media jumped the gun on his retirement announcement. Tom Brady wanted to do it his own way. There's this series on ESPN called Man in the Arena, and it's been segmented. So like episodes are still coming out, but in the final episode, he has like a 10-minute long speech about his retirement and his plans for the future. And looks like we all kind of already know what's going on, because he put out like
so this information was leaked.
Not necessarily
kind
leaked.
of.
So there are two insiders that are connected to this story. There's Adam Schefter for ESPN, and then Jeff Darlington, who's actually an insider with Tom Brady. So he basically works for Tom Brady. According to both of them, on Sunday afternoon, maybe Sunday morning, they put out on Twitter that Tom Brady's going to retire. But until like 4 hours later, Tom Brady's agent actually, not really, I mean, he gave kind of an attitude when he said this, but he basically said the only person who can give an accurate depiction of what Tom Brady is going to do further is Tom Brady. So at
That's
this
sort
point,
of a nothing statement, right?
exactly.
Like,
So like
you can
yeah.
say that about anyone. The only one who can give a representation about what Grace Pavloff is going to do is Grace Pavloff.
Exactly.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, I did it.
But
I did it. I'm a philosopher. I'm crazy.
I'm crazy. But like the thing is this too, and this is also more, this is an ethical question, right? Like, what does a journalist do with that information? I do enjoy this question a lot. If you have that information and it's
you shut the
confirmed,
fuck up. And
no,
yeah, it's his thing. He was planning on saying it. I don't know why you got to spill the beans for another person. What if it was about somebody's pregnancy? What if somebody
different.
like wanted to keep something on the down low? Because it would hurt other things. I mean, like him announcing his retirement is like a little less harmful, right? It's like, oh, darn it, you just spoiler alert, right? But like when it comes to your job as a journalist, dude, I feel like you got to have some respect for people's privacy. Because that's why the media gets such a bad rep, is because you guys are ruthless. You guys will spill things that aren't necessarily your responsibility to talk about.
Okay. So
I agree, especially something like this, which doesn't have like implications to the actual like world, right? It doesn't have implications into like how the important parts of the world are working, right?
Well, yeah. No,
like of course, like make crazy investigations into I don't know, like political problems or like stuff like that. But yeah, someone retiring,
but if,
I don't know. I feel like there should be some give and take, right? Like there should be,
or like sex tapes and stuff. Like, why you got to put that out? Why you got to be a part of the problem?
We are just stemming all the way not in sports. Like this is something.
Yeah, but you just brought up journalism. You just brought up that, and that's your shenanigans. And this is outside of sports. Again, like the Tom Brady thing is very mild, right? But I do think there is ethics to it where it's like, it's his business. He clearly was waiting. There was plans. It wasn't just him who knew that. There's a whole production team that knew that was coming, and somebody spilled the beans. I'd be a little upset about it. But again, that's not that big of an issue. But if we compare it to like, I don't know, something else, I just feel like there's still going to be a line of like, dude, it's not really your, what are you gaining from doing that? Oh, are you gaining profits? Are you gaining like the pride of saying, oh, I got this story out first? That's good for you. But what if that has negative implications on somebody's life?
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I mean,
you took it upon yourself to do that. I don't know. I think it can be.
I guess the problem is that sort of the profiting system of journalism rewards that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So it's hard to stay away from it if you're a journalist because you get rewarded via profit. And so there should be some way of separating that out of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like when you jump the gun on something, I feel like that increases the risk factor of inaccuracies and stuff. And so what I think happened, right, with this Tom Brady situation is that because it got leaked first, everyone was like, wait, whoa, what is he going to do? Da, 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 da. But they didn't have the full story out yet. So now what you did by jumping the gun on it is you caused so much like chaos and ruckus that and anticipation and anxiety for a story that's half finished, you know?
Yes.
And not super important.
And not super important to begin with.
I don't know if you could speak on the lack of importance that this has. I mean, like when teams start.
Well, the world is not going to burn, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, I mean, you have a point there. I mean, the world's not going to burn if the information was told before or during Tom Brady wanted to make it official. I think what we also have to realize is that public officials have, or public figures, I should say, public figures have different rights than you or I do, Grace. I don't know if Michael,
but not me, because I'm famous AF.
Well, like that's what I was about to say. Like, I don't know if Michael, you would consider yourself a private individual anymore, because you have people you have garnered a following. So now eyes are locked on you. The persona, whatever you want to call it, the attitude that you give out, people are going to pick apart. And like there's certain levels to like what Grace brought up of like, you don't know what kind of chaos this is going to cause. But what kind of chaos did it cause after Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington put out that information? Nothing really happened. Some people had their feelings hurt. And I think that is okay. I mean, here's another thing too. The dude's 44 years old. And after he lost in the divisional round, after he got kicked out of the playoffs, he said, I have a lot of decision making to do. And to be honest, I want to be there for my kids. Always. When a player, a veteran player, brings up the thought of his family, he's going to retire.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's 44 years old. Of course. I mean,
exactly. So like, are we really like spilling the secret of stuff that we already know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, so I see both sides, and the fact that he went into this production in the first place means that he thought that it being leaked was acceptable risk. Right? Because when you go into this big production and let a lot of people in on it, there's the risk of leaking is higher. Not to say that the leaking is moral or correct or whatever, but the risk is higher. So he took on that acceptable risk. I think that makes this stand apart from someone who just has something in their personal life that they didn't build into some sort of like future public production.
Right.
Which is totally that sort of leak is totally unacceptable. Yeah. And this one is like, in my opinion, like still, I could take it or leave it, whether or not it's right or not.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. If we're done talking about this, I have a segue into another conversation.
So speaking of segues, I was embarrassingly old.
You just hijacked my segue, Michael.
Before I knew how segue was appropriately spelled. Now it's your turn.
How do you spell segue?
Well, I know it's no comment, but it's not
okay.
It's not SEGWAY.
All right. So
okay, go.
On the topic of sort of like platforms and choosing to put yourself out there and allowing those risks to follow, I wanted to sort of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like a newbie in this situation. Michael, how long have you been making videos online? Call it like a year or so.
Yeah. So like summer 2019 or something I started.
Okay. So like a few years at this point. Alec has had a podcast in the past, not to mention his job is him putting his words out there. Yeah. So this is like nothing new to you guys sharing yourselves with the public. It is for me. I mean, I can go as far as to say when I was 10, I posted some YouTube videos of me and my friends dancing around, but like they have like 10 views and I wasn't trying to get like or go viral. Right. And then, or to say like my Instagram account is public,
but you have kind of a lot of followers.
I do because when I meet new people, I find that we ask each other for our Instagram. I did, like extracurricular activities, Model UN, you're away for like a couple days, you're meeting new people. Everyone follows each other on Instagram. I did lacrosse, all the girls on like the different lacrosse teams I've been in, we all follow each other on Instagram. I transferred schools. I follow the people at my new school. I'm at a new school now, right?
So you've had like a
people there
winding path to collect these people.
Yeah, it's not me. I mean, I'm sure there's like a couple in there that are just randos, right? But like it's very small. And not to mention, I'm not here trying to actively gain new followers, right? Like I'm not creating content to attract new people. Because I find that my account is just my account. It's like I'm gonna post something political, but it's like really not that serious, you know? I'm gonna put my voice out there where I can, right? Even if it doesn't make that much of an impact, I don't really care. If it pisses some people off, I don't care. If it makes people like, I actually have a friend here that had said to me recently, like, oh, like some of the stuff you post on Instagram, Grace, is like really cool. And like, I'll actually click on it. And I'm like, word. I have the influence to make my friend click on something. That's dope. Let's cap it at that. You know, like I'm just happy that like the people around me like see are looking into things that I see, right? Because then it's just more intimate that way. But this whole thing here online is kind of terrifying, you know, because there's no excuse for me to say like, oh, but it's not, don't look at it like that because I'm just here spilling my beans for no reason. No, like this is like, Michael, your followers are coming. They are coming, you know, like
Yeah. In a
that kind of thing.
yeah.
So I basically just want to just like, you know, like the process at which I'm trying to gain confidence and understanding about this whole thing. And like, I don't know, because I know in like 30 years time, if I like have a job or, you know, or I'm famous, they're going to dig this up and be like, look at what she said when she was 20 years old. She wasn't a kid anymore. I could use this against her. Right. But I'm
Do you think
yeah,
do you think that stuff is still going to
Totally.
be so damning in 30 years? Because so many people now,
I think people will try to make it damning.
but what I'm saying is that so many people now are like creating in a public sphere, right? Almost everyone, maybe not almost everyone, but so many different people are, that the like historical record will just be so flooded that not that you can't find it, but it just like won't be interesting to find it anymore.
I mean, maybe unless I say something really provocative, but I guess
Yeah, just don't do that, I guess.
Yeah,
Well-
and also what I think is I'll let you go after this, Alec, but what I think is most important for me to at least establish here, and I think you guys should agree with me, is that like for context for listeners, like we're on a Zoom call right now. Like it's basically like a FaceTime with my brother and my uncle, right?
Mhm.
You're here with your niece and your nephew. This is not you interviewing the president. You know what I'm saying? Or like even interviewing your fellow PhD friend. You know, like this is so colloquial, you know, and casual. At least that's the way I see it.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
that like, so these conversations are sort of like dinner table conversations, you know, where we're just sort of like catching up with each other and that kind of thing. And I feel like, I don't know, I just thought that would be important context to give to the listeners so that they're, I don't know, maybe not as disappointed.
I agree. And maybe we
play
should
out.
like have some sort of comment from time to time that like, you know, we're just like working stuff out between the three of us.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe we won't get everything perfect, and maybe we won't agree with ourselves in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and like one of the things that I wanted to bring up is the fact that we're now living in a day and age where the individual is the publisher. I mean, back in the day, if you wanted to get a word out, if you wanted to put something into the public sphere, you had to either write a book or write it in the newspaper. Right now, it's like you just have to tweet it and you're a publisher. Like that is the definition of publishing. Is
Yeah,
putting
that's
something
so
out.
scary. That's so
It's-
scary.
And believe me, like
That's why I
when
don't
you
have
first
Twitter.
I mean, you do have a Twitter, you just don't go on it.
Yeah,
But,
I just don't use
I
it.
tag you in all of these different things, and I just get crickets.
Oh,
in
Alec,
response.
that's gonna come back to bite me in the ass. I'm not even on there.
Oh my goodness, it's okay.
Are you
don't
trying to
have
be president, Grace?
Yeah, man.
You see,
gotta-
that's the thing. If I do, I want to do as much precautionary lining as I can. You
then
know?
you shouldn't.
So
Then
to
you shouldn't
establish.
make your. You shouldn't make your Instagram public then.
Well, yeah, but again, I'm saying like that's my. But I'm not telling your subscribers my Instagram.
Oh, it's
I'm not out
linked
here
on-
like
But
it's
they have
linked
your
on the
first and
YouTube.
last name.
you linked my Instagram on the YouTube.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
unlink it?
Oh.
I'll unlink it.
Grace is freaking out. No,
That's
come
why I
on.
have random people following me.
Yeah, you have random people following you, and I have no followers.
All right, but
There
at
you
least
go.
it's been established that I did not consent to it, so it's okay.
No, well, I mean, it's whatever. What's the worst thing that can happen? You
Wait,
get-
here, I'll read out one person who just followed me recently, and maybe it's one of your. Well, she's definitely not into math. Oh, maybe they're
So
not your
my
subscribers.
Instagram, I have like 800 followers, and like 20 are my friends and people that I've met in real life, and the other like 800 come from discovery on the channel or whatever.
Yeah,
And that's not even pushing it. It's not even linked on my channel. Well, it is. I think I linked it yesterday on the channel, but that's just from, I don't know, I'm going to look up who Michael Penn is.
Well, that's honestly what I do sometimes. Is whenever I see someone on YouTube that I admire, I try to see if they have social media that I can follow as well. I
was just hoping I wasn't interesting enough to like have people try to find myself.
Grace, you've reached this milestone a while ago, and this is, someone like myself who's been putting my stuff out there. Like you said, I'm almost on the cusp of 1,000 followers on Instagram. And that was because I've been tagging and posting a lot of photos of local athletes, and I've been following a lot of people. But this goes to your point of you have to watch what you say. And I have a lot of high schoolers now watching, and I don't know if they listen to this because I've been I have the link on my Instagram, but like, it's quite frightening, because now I have to really watch what I say, what I post. I try to keep it now mostly sports related. Politics is something I haven't really tested out with this new audience yet, but we'll see. I mean, they like my photos so far. But yeah, like there's a level of anxiety that comes through me whenever I think about who's now following me and who's now watching. But at the end of the day, to go back to what your first question, I kind of forgot your first statement on this topic, Grace, but like, I think there will be a time where people will look at your stuff that you've done in your mid-20s even, and they'll go, oh, she was in her mid-20s.
Yeah, like I'm really just a uni student out here, man. I'm really here just trying to like do my thing. I'm racking up extracurriculars at the moment, actually.
There
Like
you go.
this,
Yeah, and like, who
this
knows?
is actually one of the fun things I do. Well,
Yeah. And I mean, like, who knows what's going to happen of this podcast? Like, I mean, we'll keep doing it for as long as it's fun, probably.
Mhm.
But
which shouldn't take too long to
drive the fun out of it.
Well, Grace has.
I mean,
high
you
hopes,
guys
as we
never
can
do my
see.
homework that I tell you to do. But I mean, to be honest,
got my own
it's like,
homework.
it's like good practice, right?
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, we're talking to each other, right? Which is,
Yeah.
we're family or whatever, but I don't see you guys a ton. This is like good practice of just
Yeah.
like being a human.
Dope.
And talking things out and discerning through all of the disagreements that we have. I do find it fun, especially when you guys dogpile on me, because it does make me
Yeah, it's always you,
think.
right?
Yeah, it's always me. It's always me.
I
People
feel
just
like
dogpile on me.
from the outset, you guys are young. It should be you two dogpiling on me for my crazy
Well,
idea.
Grace doesn't like me, so that might have something to do with it. Even though she's my sister,
And then I
My
just think it's
sister.
funny
and then Michael, you enable it because you think it's funny. You laugh. You go
because,
along
like,
with
in
it.
my mind, this is a comedy podcast, just BTW.
Because Because wait, Michael, you don't have any siblings, do you? Do you?
Not any real siblings, just
Yeah,
fake
not
ones, like your mom.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you're right. So I am my mom's only child.
Yeah. And did your mom have any other kids?
No. No, I'm my mom's only child.
That's what
I just
Grace
said that. Yeah.
That's that
So-
university teaching going well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big brain.
Northern Ireland education system. So let's see. No, the other ones are half siblings. Who's the oldest over there?
Melissa,
Melissa.
Who's the youngest?
Bill.
Bill. Yeah.
Okay, so he's the closest to me. I don't even know him though.
Yeah, he's like 55 or so.
Yeah.
Something
So
like
they're
that.
Yeah, so like 15 years
Maybe a
older
little
than
bit
I
older.
am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't grow up with any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, I didn't know your mom until remember we came down and visited you in Croton. And you were like
But you'd
3.
met her a couple times before.
Yeah, I had met her like once or twice, but like we had
Yeah.
never like really connected.
Yeah.
And so that when we started coming down to Croton and hanging out, that's sort of the start of when, I was like friends with my half sister, with my fake sister.
My fake sister. I consider Alec my fake brother. Sometimes when I don't want to be like tied to that bloodline. Ew. Oh, I learned a word, and my friend who I'm moving in with next year, she speaks German, and she'll teach me a couple things here and there. And I learned a new word. So the word gross in German. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
What if we just said no?
Eget.
Eget?
Eget.
Okay.
I think I'm saying it right though. I don't have her to coach me.
Cool story.
Yeah. So anytime I say eget.
You learn something new every day. All right. So to just kind of wrap things up, this is going to be a shorter episode. But we should go through and
because the youth couldn't figure out the technology.
Oh my goodness.
That is very true. You are so right. And I'm not going to lie, Michael, it's not as much of for me not figuring out the technology. It's just that I forgot that we were doing this today.
You're the one that scheduled this too.
No, but I didn't put it in my calendar. So I got out of class, and so I just started like cleaning my apartment. I was gonna make myself some food, and then I saw the text, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then Zencaster wasn't working on my iPad, and I was like, "My laptop is like broken." I don't know.
Yeah, and I paid for the subscription today.
Oh shit!
Oh no.
We moved.
That's okay. We'll get it work. We'll get it working.
But I have a laptop. I have a laptop now.
Hey, there you go.
Sick.
Sick.
Tell us.
Okay.
Tell us again.
Wrap it up. So what are we doing? Are we doing our media recommendation?
Yes, that's what I was going to get into. So I'll start. Obviously, watch the Super Bowl.
Obviously, you'll start.
Watch the Super Bowl in.
Wait, is that happening?
That's not happening this weekend, but next weekend. So watch the Super Bowl next weekend.
Wait, do we know what teams are in it?
Yes. So the LA Rams.
This is how jaded I am.
The Super Bowl is next weekend?
Not this weekend, but next weekend. Yes.
Wait, is that the 19th?
It's the 13th.
Okay.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
Maybe get this podcast out before that.
Probably. Yeah, most definitely. I'll have to do that. But yeah, so there's the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals, who have not won a playoff game in about 30 years, and now they're in the Super Bowl. They have a guy called Joe Burrow. He's from Athens, Ohio.
Dreams come true.
Dreams come true. So it'll be an interesting one. You should definitely watch it. So I haven't been this excited for the Super Bowl in a while.
Aren't we doing something like we're looking forward to in this next week?
Oh yeah, sure.
What's something you're looking forward to next week besides the Super Bowl?
Something I'm looking forward to this week will be finally getting the big items out of my apartment and into my new apartment and start decorating, start organizing, put stuff together. That is something I'm looking forward to. So move on to Michael. What is your media?
Oh, I'm next.
Yeah, something you're looking forward to.
Okay, I watched 2 movies last week that were awesome. So I'm going to have 2. So, and they're very different. The first one is Coda. Have you guys seen this? It's on Apple TV Plus. It's
I've
about
seen something for it. Yeah.
it's about a girl who is a singer, but comes from an all deaf family. It's really good. I was touched. And then the second one is a documentary called The Wall, which follows 4 elite women rock climbers as they prepare for the Tokyo Olympics, and then have the Olympics put off for a year and all this kind of stuff. And it's really good too, like sports stuff, but maybe it has a story to it, and it's like a sports documentary that's like a all female cast, which is like kind of rare probably. Anyway, and about a kind of non-standard sport. Anyway, I would highly suggest it. Okay, so what do I want to do? So my last goal, which we didn't go over, was like to get back into math research, which I failed at because I just like went into hibernation mode until classes started because I wanted to take a break. But now that classes have started, I think that, that's my goal again.
All right, Grace, moving on to you.
So something I'm excited for in this next week is I'm going to be having my first lacrosse game for Queen's University Belfast in Dublin this weekend, and it'll be the first time I've played a game in like 2 or 3 years. And so I'm really excited for it. We're gonna like take the bus down at like 7 a.m. Games at 11. Game's gonna last like an hour or so, and after, all the girls are heading to pubs, and I'm so excited. We're gonna watch. There's like I guess like 6 nations or something. It's like a big rugby match, so we're all just gonna be like chilling. So I'm excited for that this weekend. I guess my media recommendation would be
It's almost as if you could have seen this coming and prepared it.
ooh.
Ooh.
You know what? You're right. My media recommendation this week is going to be Amber Mark's new album. I really like Amber Mark, and she dropped a new album this week, and it is fire.
What's the name of the album?
Fire. I think
here we
it's
go.
called like I don't know what the name of the album is off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but I do know the names of the songs. It's called 3 Dimensions Deep. And it came out like in this past week, and so I'm really excited for it, and I've been listening to it back to back. So that is my media recommendation. I can improvise.
Well done.
Well
Thank you.
done.
Thank you.
Very well done. And on that note, it's been a pleasure talking with my family here and just shooting the breeze and kind of not having a plan. I kind of like how these discussions go when we don't have a plan. We just kind of chit
Very
chat and
messy.
shoot the breeze. I mean, honestly, those sometimes are the better quality podcasts, at least from what I listen to when I listen to other people. But we appreciate you listening. We appreciate your audience. We appreciate you listening. Of course, leave a like, subscribe if you want to, leave a comment. Let us know what you want to hear about in the future. We're running out of ideas. So as we try to figure out new ideas, crowdsourcing is our biggest asset. So please leave a comment. And if you think we need to improve on something, by all means, leave a comment as well.
Maybe
And
just
also, like,
DM Aleksei, because Grace and I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also, like, because we did that one where we answered the questions in your comment section. So if you guys are interested in hearing us answer more of those questions, I'm down to do that.
So I just hit 200K subscribers, so we'll do that in the next couple weeks.
200K on this channel?
No.
On
his main channel.
Grace. Main YouTube channel.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of audience yet. we don't have that kind of reach yet.
If we had that kind of audience, we'd be like, buy athletic greens.
Yeah. Get Manscaped.
Right. That's the future.
Would I get a plaque?
I don't know.
Sure.
I think Michael would probably get the plaque. But anyway, so with all of that being said, this has been Aleksei Pavlov. I am here with Michael Penn and Grace Pavlov. This has been The Penn and the Pavloffs. We'll talk to you next time.
Deuces.